It was the next day. Izuku and his father Hisashi were being as discreet as possible to scout out the Gen Tech building when employees and security would leave and when new employees and security would come. Izuku was watching when his father approached him. Son, did they leave on time? Yeah, Dad, they did. Good. Hasashi then looked through his scopes, and Izuku looked at the side of his head. What's wrong, son? Why are you staring at me like that? Dad, why did you have your scythe raised to my neck last night while I was sleeping? Well, son, that was a way of me testing you. I was just seeing how well your senses were. Clearly, you were fake sleeping at that moment. Looks like they're working out just fine. I'm sorry to scare you like that. I won't do it again. Okay. But, Dad, I have to ask, if you injected yourself with the blacklight virus, why do you look so disfigured? Like, why is your skin burned and your hair missing? And you're blinded in one eye as well. Why didn't it recover that? Hasashi takes a deep breath in and he says, well, son, I think it might be the fact that when I injected myself with the blacklight virus, that once it latched onto my body and became a part of me, that it saw what it saw. Well, I mean, not like it's seen anything, but you know, the way I already was when it became a part of me, it just saw me that way and it thought that there was nothing wrong. So, I'm pretty much stuck like this. Oh, okay. So for the rest of the day and for the past few days, they would scout out the Gen Tech building and they would feel prepared to raid the Gen Tech building. Izuku and his dad will be standing in front of the board with the layout of the land of Gen Tech. And he would say, all right, son, so just to go over the plans with you again, we're going to go in there and disguise. There's different types of security guards. Luckily for us, we may have rendered some unconscious, but they're still alive. We'll ingest their blood, and we will look like them. Enter the facility, find our way to make it downstairs to where Elizabeth is waiting for us, and then, son, I have to say this. If there is a chance that we might have to end up taking a life or two, we may not have a choice, son. I understand, but there's always another way around this. Very well, then. You got your blood? Yeah, I do. Okay. Izuku looks down at the jar of blood, and Hasashi walks past him, and he whispered, we're coming, Clementine. Wait, Dad, what did you say? Nothing. Let's go. Okay. Now, during all this time, Izuku still felt like he should get away from his father, but I guess those feelings have gone muted for a while. Anyway, at the Gentech building, before they turned the corner, they ingested the blood and took the shape and clothing of the security guards, and they walked to the entranceway of the Gentech facility. Before they could enter, they were stopped by one associate who said, "Stop, hold it right there, fellas. Let me go ahead and scan your eyes to make sure that you aren't infected." This kind of threw both Hasashi and Izuku off by a lot. They did not know that they were going to scan them to see if they were infected, and clearly they were. They both had the blacklight virus. They both intensely stared at each other, wondering what to do. And Hasashi gave Izuku a nod. Izuku knew what this specified, that Hasashi would cause a distraction while he went inside and dealt with everything himself. Oh no, said Izuku. Hasashi stepped forward, and he allowed the man to scan his eye. When he did, the very second that he scanned it, it let off an alarm, and everyone started being hostile towards Hasashi. He would run off and revert back to his normal form and would start running away, allowing the Gen Tech securities to chase him. While they were distracted, um, Izuku ran into the Gen Tech building. Luckily, he was not being seen. The alarm for the entire facility went off, and everyone went to their secured rooms to stay hidden and await for orders to know when it was okay to leave or not. While Izuku was making his way down a hallway, one of the security guys spotted him. "Hey you, soldier, what are you doing out here? There's a threat outside, come on!" Izuku just stood there. The security guard walked past Izuku, and he looked back at him again. "What are you, a statue or something? Are you stupid? Come on!" Izuku slowly looked at him, and then, without even thinking, Izuku then took the man by the sides of his head and slammed his head to the back of his head to the wall, rendering him unconscious. "I am so sorry," said Izuku. Izuku then quickly picked him up and threw him in the closet where they keep their cleaning supplies. Anyway, Izuku also took a key card, a specialized key card, from the security guard and made it to the elevator. And inside the elevator was this little Scanditron thing to get to the lab. He raises the card up, it gives out a beep of positive, and he gets inside and heads his way there. Anyway, after a minute would go by, Izuku would finally reach the secret location in the building. When he stepped out, it looked like an endless hallway with nothing but lights. One of them was flickering in the distance. He cautiously walked down the hallway, listening for anyone who could possibly come around the corner. When he turned the corner, he saw what appeared to be a giant garage door. It was heavy duty, and like there was just no way a normal person would be able to knock it down. And next to it was a smaller door, an average size human door. Izuku cautiously made sure that there was no cameras, and he went inside through the normal door. When he walked in, there were a few other doors with infected specimens, other people who failed to be a perfect copy of the Blacklight virus. Izuku heard a door shut, and from the distance, he saw a man who looked like he was in his 50s and wearing a lab coat. Izuku quickly took shelter and hid. When the man passed Izuku quickly took action. He grabbed the man, putting him in a chokehold and rendering him unconscious. And in a nearby bathroom, he put him in there, used his claw fingers to give him a small cut and sampling some of his blood, taking his form, his clothes, and his memories. How's the specimen doing? Well, first, he had a flashback. How's the specimen doing? Well, she's doing fine, but she's still hiding under that bed. This brat could be such a pain in the neck. The flashback of the man ends, and Izuku says, "Wait, little brat, but isn't Elizabeth Green, like, older?" Izuku put that thought aside, and he made it back to the same room that the man had left from. Inside was the control board and another scientist sitting in a chair, talking over an intercom. "Hey there, kid." It was the same one from the flashback. "How are you doing today?" He then took his finger off of the intercom button, making sure that whoever he was talking to couldn't hear him. Whatever. Izuku then slowly approached him and said, "So, how's the specimen?" She's still quiet. Can't get her to do anything." Izuku then begrudgingly asked, "Hey, where's Elizabeth Green?" The scientist then got suspicious of Izuku and slowly looked at him. "You don't know what happened to her? You don't remember what happened to her?" "I was just asking, that's all." Hmm. The scientist then slowly reached towards a button underneath the desk, but luckily Izuku caught him in time and stopped him from pressing the button. He then grabbed him by the shirt and pinned him against the wall, reverting himself back to his normal form with his green hair, the Izuku we all love. And Izuku starts intimidating the guy, saying, "Listen, I know that you all know who I am, so that means you know what I'm capable of, right? So you know that I can eat you with ease and kill you. Now tell me, where is Elizabeth Green? She died, okay? She died 4 years ago, giving birth to her child." Izuku's eyes widen. "Wait, she's dead? But wait, does Dad know?" After a second of thinking, he then brings his thoughts back to the man. "Where is the child then?" He then points to the big glass. Inside that area was a big old space, and in the center of it was a box with glass as metal as its outline supports. Inside of it was what appeared to be a child's playroom. There were toys, there was a bed, there were even little drawings on the walls. But he couldn't see the girl in sight. Izuku then rendered the man unconscious, bashed down the glass that was separating him from the room, and he leaped inside. He gets closer to the box and he could sense someone just like him is in that box. He cautiously opens it. Hello?" Izuku steps inside while the door stays open. "Is anyone here?" Izuku heard a girl squeal, and he heard it from under the bed. "Hey there. Are you okay?" He saw a little figure shaking from underneath the bed. "Hey, it's okay. You can come out. I won't hurt you." What appeared from under the bed shocked Izuku. It was a little girl who looked like she was 4 years old. She had long red black hair and her iris color was red. She had a sort of round face and tiny hands. And she was wearing what appeared to be a red robe. When Izuku got down to her level, she kind of jumped a little bit. Hey, it's okay. It's okay. I won't hurt you. I'm not like those men. That is, if they did hurt you. Are there people here that hurt you?" The girl then nods her head slowly. "Oh, well, I'm not like them. I'm here to help you. Here, come with me." Izuku extends his hand out towards her, and the girl nearly hid under the bed again. But no, it's okay. It's okay. Just come with me and I'll take you to a safe place, okay? The girl then slowly approached Izuku with both of her hands trembling. She then reached out with her right hand and she took Izuku by the hand. "Okay, come on, let's go." Izuku and the girl would run out of the room, and Izuku would push a button that would lift the giant garage door up. And together they would both run down the hallway. Together, the two would run down the hallways, but of course, Izuku opening that door initiated the alarms, and now some Gentech employees were coming to them. When they turned the corner, Izuku spotted 10 men 5 of them standing and 5 of them on their knees with their aiming of their guns down the hallway at them. They immediately took fire, but Izuku quickly grabbed the girl and jumped out of the way, back behind the corner. Izuku then thought quickly, and he said, okay, I can't kill them. I just gotta fight. All right, here goes. Little girl, okay? I want you to stay here. Don't move. I'll let you know when it's safe to come out, okay? The girl then shook her head, okay. Izuku then tensed all of his muscles up, and he conjured the bio armor, shielding his entire body. He then jumped out around the corner, and they proceeded to shoot at him again. Only this time, all the bullets ricocheted off of his body and into the walls. Izuku then battered his fist back, and he began punching at the soldiers, rendering them unconscious, except for one that was fighting to stay awake. When he finished, he said, okay, it's safe to come out now. He dropped his guard, making the bio armor disappear, and he took the girl's hand and he ran off. But the one soldier that remained awake pulled out a firearm and he shot Izuku on the back right side of his shoulder. Blood began to spill from Izuku's bullet wound, and he ran back to the man and rendered him unconscious. This hurts. Are you okay? The girl actually spoke, and Izuku said, yeah, I'm fine. It's just a flesh wound, that's all. Anyway, come on. They got into the elevator, and Izuku used the key card, only for it to give off its denial beeps. Dang it. They must have disconnected everything in this building. This elevator won't work, so we're gonna have to go up manually, okay? Izuku then puts the girl on his back. She locks her arms around Izuku's neck, as being as gentle as to not choke him, of course. Izuku then popped open the ceiling of the elevator, and he climbs as fast as he could up it, getting back to the normal floors. After a few minutes, Izuku and the girl would make it back to the normal floors, technically the first floor, where he first came. And he was surprised that everyone was practically gone and there were no security guards outside. He thought that now may have been a good time to run without being spotted. But then, the owner of the Gentech facility spoke over the intercom, and right behind him, he heard banging noises. Somebody, come here quick. He's going to kill me. Open this door. Izuku heard his father's voice. Dad, what are you doing? Somebody, he's a madman. He's going to kill me. And then, boom, he heard the sound of the door being banged down. And then he heard, I found you. Oh no. And then the intercom cut off. Izuku knew that his father was up to no good, and so he decided that he had to get there quick before he did something really bad. Looking to a displayed map of the building on the wall, he saw that the boss's office was on the very top floor, which just so happens to be the 50th floor. Anyway, Izuku knows that the elevator was down, so he couldn't use that, and it would take too long anyway. So he decided to bring the girl with him. They both entered the staircase, and they looked up to what appeared to be an endless staircase. Here, hang on tight. Okay. Izuku would then begin to jump from staircase to staircase, getting it up there as fast as he could. After a few minutes, Izuku would actually make it to the 40th floor, and he would turn the corner and see that the catastrophe was still going on. Hasashi has not eaten him yet, so he quickly ran into the office, but as he turned the corner, Hasashi had him in his hands, choking him. Izuku yelled, "Dad, no!" Hasashi looked towards Izuku and then back to the owner of the Gentech facility. And being as quick as he could, he conjured squid-like tendrils from his back and penetrated the director in his body. Izuku quickly ran over. Well, before that, he put the girl down and he quickly ran over towards him to stop him. But as he was about to jump in to stop him, the guy's body then disappeared into Hasashi's body, killing him. Izuku tumbles to the ground as he was shocked from what he saw his father do. And it was at that moment that Izuku knew that this man was not his father. There was something else. There was something wrong with him. This was not Hasashi Midoriya. From behind him, he heard the muffled voices of his father, Izuku. Izuku! This snapped Izuku back into reality. And Izuku said, "Izuku, do you have her?" He then looked to the front door, and she saw her peeping from behind the corner. Splendid. Now come on, we have to make it down to the first floor. Pretty soon this place will be overflown with Blackwatch soldiers. But how are we gonna... Why? Why did you eat him? Son, I'll explain it later. Right now, we got to go. Hasashi was about to take the girl, but Izuku quickly raced over to the girl and picked her up himself, so that he would not get his hands on her fruit basket. Excuse me. What's your problem, son? Let's just get out of here. Hasashi and Izuku quickly jumped down, allowing gravity to take them to the bottom floor. They would run to the bathrooms, and Hasashi would actually use Hammer Fist to bust one of the toilets open and that would lead to the sewer drain. They both would use that as their escape, and they would make it back to their hideout. After a few minutes, in the room where they initially planned the breakout, Hasashi looked at the girl like he was obsessed with her. He kneeled down to her level while she was in Izuku's arms, saying, "So, this is it, huh? You're everything that I imagined that you would be. Such beautiful, and yet so powerful." Izuku would not let this girl get anywhere near him, for he knew that this man was dangerous. Now, for a brief second, Izuku then put the girl down, and he walked over to Hasashi. "Hasashi, you better explain to me why you killed that man when you vowed that you wouldn't kill anyone anymore, dude. What the heck?" "Son, listen, I had to do it, because if I didn't, then you basically would have had to look over your shoulders for the rest of your days. Now, I'm sorry that I lied to you, okay? Initially, taking this girl from that facility wouldn't have taken down the Gentech facility, alright? The only way to do it was to get close to the man who was behind it. And I had to take him down so that you could live a life without looking over your shoulders. Because now, Gentech, it has been completely demolished." Okay. Izuku thinks for a second, and he says, "Okay, fine, but what about her?" He gestures over to the girl. "Why did you lie to me? You said that we were looking for Elizabeth Green, and it turns out she's been dead for 4 years. She died to give birth to this child. So, why did you lie to me?" "I'm sorry, son. I honestly don't know why I lied to you. I should have been honest with you from the get-go." Suddenly, Izuku feels a sort of drift change in Hasashi's attitude, but it wasn't a good one, though. And what about what you did in the bathroom? You said that all you had was the healing factor and the scythe arm. Why did you lie to me about having two of those abilities when clearly you have more than two? Well, son, I just wanted you to feel stronger. Now, to admit this, I am actually a lot stronger than you. And I just didn't want you to feel small. That's all.
What did you, what? What are you talking about? That sounds so stupid!
Izuku then grabs his hair in frustration and he turns his back on Hasashi and he said, "And what about all the soldiers that were originally chasing you? What happened to them?" Hasashi then smiled and said, "Well, it's lucky that you weren't there to witness that carnage." Wait, what? Izuku looks down to see 5 blades piercing his torso. He turns around slowly and he sees Hasashi doing this. He then removes the blades from his son's body, and Izuku falls to the floor in agony. "What is the meaning of this?" said Izuku. The girl then cowered behind the bed, hiding. "Okay, kid, I gotta be honest with you, okay? Since we already have the girl, I'm just gonna tell you the complete truth, okay? I'm not your father, alright? I am the Blacklight virus. You see, initially when your father died, he was with me for a second, but then he just died. Clearly he died to his injuries, and I took control of his body. Now, I didn't really completely lie to you. For a while, I honestly didn't know this man's purpose and where he came from, nor what I really was at first. But then I did some digging around, and I finally figured out the truth about who Hasashi Midoriya was, and I just took his life. And when I remembered all the things that he had done to get this far, and the creatures that he had created, I thought to myself, wow, you know what? Maybe society has already screwed up enough of humanity. Maybe I should be the one to create those things. But unfortunately, Hasashi could not do that. That is what she is for. He gestures over to the girl. You see, that girl is indeed the child of Elizabeth Green. And for some reason, now, I don't know why the company did this, but they had a sample of my DNA. And to spite me, they injected Elizabeth Green with it. That girl over there is your little sister. Izuku grudgingly looks over to the girl. Sister? Yeah, she's your sister. And believe it or not, she's more stronger than you and me combined. She has a special ability, Izuku. You see, after I devoured one of the scientists that were just leaving from work, I took his memories and I looked over them, and I also saw that this girl was able to pass on the same abilities that you and I hold. But people could actually be more in control of themselves. And she also has the ability to cause that person to inflict harm on themselves if she really wanted to. I thought, wow, I sure could use that power. And so, I knew that I was weak to deal with them on my own, so I knew that I needed help. And so, using his memories of you, I called you. You came here, and we took down the Gentech building together. Izuku then said, but, what do we need her for? Well, that's a good question. You see, I can actually take her abilities from her and use them for myself. But the only way to do that is that I would have to consume her, just like I do to all my food. What? No, you, you stay away from her. Izuku continues to bleed out on the floor. Hey, come on, Izuku. It ain't gonna be so bad. You know, I would actually ask if you could join me, but unfortunately, you're just like your father. All you want to do is do the right thing and kiss another man's foot, other than be your own leader. But the thing is that also you have a pure heart, and you're always willing to do what's right. But unfortunately, I'm not looking for that. I want obedience. I want people to do as I say, without question. You're a good kid, Izuku, but I I'm not looking for good kids. Now, it has been a pleasure to work with you, I will say that, but I have a thing that I have to do. Izuku felt like he was about to pass out from the blood loss, and Hasashi starts walking towards the girl with a scythe arm in hand. He then looks down at the girl, and the girl looks at him with fright. Don't worry, it'll be okay, just close your eyes and... He was hiked down by Izuku, who told the girl to run! Get out of here! Get off this floor! The girl then quickly ran out the room and downstairs. What do you think you're doing? Asked the Blacklight Virus. I won't let you hurt her. She's my sister. And how do you think you're going to stop me? Izuku then said with this. Izuku then brought all of his biomass as he could to his body and focused it in one part. He then said, Devastation! And then he reached both of his arms out with test with test with test test tentacles with tentacles emanating all over his torso, his back, his front, his arms, everywhere. And they would actually demolish the top half of the building. Izuku thought at that moment, oh no, I should have made sure that the girl was out of this floor before I did that. When it was all over, it was just a pile of bricks all over the floor. Izuku thought that he had won, that he had stopped him, but the Blacklight Virus then rose from the ground and stood up. He then looked to Izuku with a blank face and said, oh yeah, did I forget to mention that I don't feel pain?